Okay, so here we are then on the next one. It's maiden, small field, one heavily short price favourite. On these ones, I would recommend you use extreme caution, right? Because I'm going to place a trade here, right? And I'll show you why. Because most people, well, all traders really, at this point will definitely prefer to lay it. So it's always reasonably likely, sometimes, to drift. Purely because it's such poor value to back it. But I have personally been burnt by this many times, because you basically, you'd be forgiven for assuming, oh, I can't possibly get this shorter. It's way too short. It's way too short. But this could easily come down to 1.25, whatever, because it's the price has no emotion. It'll go where the money tells it to, and that's all there is to it. So it's very important that when you... So I've gone in for £200 stake there, right? So it's very important that you remain calm and don't overstake. So if you've got a £100 bank or whatever, so you can see a big chunk of money here. If you've got like a £200 bank or even a £500 bank, do not place a trade of this size. Because you can see the downside here in relation to your bank is massive. So I'm just doing this to illustrate that don't get cocky when you see a short price favourite. Just because the rule book and most people will always tell you always lay a short price favourite like this. Yes, it is true for the most part, but you can also get burnt quite badly, like I am right now. You can see it's still 9 minutes to go, so I'll try and scalp out something here just to try and offset my position a bit. But you can see, you wouldn't have thought that this price could come in anymore, but it is. And I'll show you something here now. Because also with a short price favourite like this, the price tends to move quite quickly. Because you can see the amount of money that are being placed here. Right? These sort of horses are like a gold mine for big traders, because they can get a lot of money through quite easily because of it's so liquid. So with this one, it looks very dramatic because there are big chunks of change being thrown back and forth by the bigger traders. And so for us small fish, with that £100 stake or £50 stake or whatever, it's a very dramatic market to enter. So the price can shift very quickly, and that's why it's important to not overstake. So I'll say again, if you're trading with like a £100 bank or even a £500 bank, never place a stake this big, even though you can with these short price favourites, because it doesn't always work out. I've been burnt quite badly a couple of times by these sort of things where I was 100% sure that the price could not get any shorter. I was throwing like £500 stakes in, and I got stung for like 90 quid or something. And it's just because of my inexperience, and I did exactly what I did here. I entered the trade way too early, and I was looking at the price of 1.44, thinking I can't possibly get any shorter because it was at the bottom of his range. But as you can see, it's gone through me, and now I'm in a really uncomfortable position, especially if you have a very small bank. Because if I had a £500 bank and I'm sitting in a position where I can lose 15 quid, then the percentage of my bank of that, it's huge. You should not be losing that much in one trade if you've got a very small bank, especially if you're using small stakes. And if your average win per trade is like between £1 and £5, then if you're risking £5 like this, you can lose 5 trades worth in one trade, which is horrific, because that is the quickest way to lose money. I used to do that quite often, where I would have 3 or 4 trades that went great, win £4, win £10, win £5, win £10, and then suddenly have one race like this where I overstaked and then suddenly lost 20 quid in one race, and I would lose the last 5 races worth of profits, right? Which is exactly what you do not want to do. So It's settling down a little bit here, so I'll try and scalp out a few ticks on this one just to try and offset this red. Still 5 minutes to go, so basically in 30 seconds things will really start to heat up as the bigger boys come in. So that's been scalped out, so you can see this huge money being placed on the lay side. But I'll place my bet there and see if I can scalp out another little tick or two. Just place a few closing positions there so I can offset this if it does creep up. So basically I made this video here just to illustrate to you the dangers of trading a short price favorite. If you don't realize that just because it's a short price favorite does not mean it can't get shorter. You can see now, you would not believe this is happening. How can this get any shorter? Why would anybody back this horse at such a low price, right? That's sort of the logic behind it, but people are. So I would highly advise you, if you're ever trading a short price favorite, just again use very small stakes. Even though the returns are much smaller, until you learn what you're doing, make sure you use small stakes. So I'll finish this trade off now. Hopefully I won't lose too much, but it's worth losing it to illustrate my point. So it's taken, so I can put in another scalp here. The second favourite's coming in a little bit. Hopefully it keeps going. That'd be very nice. Another thing that's quite common is that when you're trading a short price favourite and you place your bet and the price goes against you, and if you close out the trade for a huge loss and then the price goes back up again like it did there, it's very, very frustrating. But that's just part of the game, the market will go up and down, up and down. So yeah, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it again and again, if you're trading a short-priced favorite, be very careful. For this exact reason you can see here, there's huge chunks of money being thrown around. It goes up, down really quickly, and if you get caught on the wrong side of it, it's very frustrating. Especially when you're sitting like this, and the price came right up here, it just did not touch my £50 there, and it's a very frustrating thing to sit and wait for. Especially as the timer ticks down to the last minute. But hopefully, there is money coming from the second favourite here. It's come down from 5-2 to down here, so there's no reason why that can't continue as it is now, which is lovely. That'll be great. If it crashes through the 4, that'll be fantastic. But we'll see. This is not moving. They're still moving down to the start, so there's no rush just yet. So that's been taken there as well. I'll put in another one just to try and scalp out, just to bring down the green a bit, so I can try and scratch out for, or just to scratch out. I think in this situation, had there been two other horses, so have the second and the third favourite been around about this price, then I reckon this one probably would have drifted out, or been more likely to. But as there's only one really opposing horse in terms of the price, there's no it's no surprise that this doesn't drift out. But like I said, it's all about learning. It's all about moving forward, and that's why I record all my trades, because you learn a lot by watching these back and just looking at it from a different angle. Because obviously when you're trading, you're always emotionally involved on some level, and you don't always see every angle, you don't always see every single trade that comes in. So you can see here now, because I've scalped out 3 or 4 ticks, it's brought the price down, and I'm now in a position where I can take my position out for a very small profit or small loss, which is very comfortable. So at this point, I'll probably just stick this there. If it comes down, it comes down and hits it. I hope it doesn't, but I'll take out another 50 there just to make my position a bit more comfortable. And I'll just close out there for a small profit, just because they're about to finish loading up. And so yeah, basically you can see there, I got a bit lucky at the end there, a small drift, but I was quite confident to sit there and wait. I wasn't in a hurry. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to learn how to trade like I do, then click the link in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.